Peace.
What's going on, world? Ryan Rich, Tony Hickman Show. Another hot episode, another weekly episode that we bring to you every week. And, it's going to be no different this week. Today, we have a very special guest, my high school classmate and longtime friend, Miss Angela Mitchell, a.k.a. Angie Boo, of the Sincerely Angie podcast. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are y'all?
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Excellent.
All
Fabulous.
right. So we're going to switch it up a little
Fantastic.
bit. You good? You got it all out? you, you got it all out?
Yes.
Take
All right.
All right. So man,
He's not gonna spare you. Not even with me on. He's not even gonna spare you.
Oh,
No,
it's
I'm not
with
gonna stop.
nobody. It's with nobody. But I'm so grateful you acknowledged that. Yeah.
It's not gonna stop. But welcome to another episode, guys. Ryan Rich and these two beautiful ladies on video with me. How y'all doing?
Doing wonderful.
All right.
Yes.
So we have Miss Angela Mitchell of the Sincerely Angie podcast, and we're gonna switch it up tonight. We're gonna talk about a plethora of topics, not only disability, and one of those topics we're gonna talk about is starting off is disabilities in the workplace and people who work with individuals such as me and Tony who have disabilities. And throughout a series of podcasts and videos that we posted up, we all talked about our experiences working and just dealing with people and, how people treat us, those of us that have disabilities. So we talked last night a little while, Angela, about my experiences in the workplace dealing with, me having a disability. And it really hasn't been a big issue. Like I said, the interview process of me getting jobs and going on jobs, it really hasn't been a big issue. The only issue that I really dealt with in the workplace is after the fact. Once I get the job, I get the stares, I get the questions of, can this guy do the job? Or, I may have had to work 10 times harder than the next person. I work in radio, so it's a real competitive field. And, what you put out on air is how they perceive you. So, so I'm going to ask you, what have been some of your experiences dealing with those that you work with that have disabilities?
So I've had about 5 jobs in my life, and I'm in my 30s. And my very first job, McDonald's. At McDonald's, I did see where they hired a few people who may have had some disabilities, either trouble walking, trouble speaking properly, but they put them in a place that was beneficial to them. So I thought that was common in the workplace to have someone who may have had a disability. But when I got to jobs that were, I guess, a little bit more advanced, maybe for lack of better words, I didn't see that. And I always thought that was odd. But more so recently, one of the jobs that I was on, they laid some people off, and it was a lot of older people. And those people kind of had trouble walking. They had been on a job for years. And computer literacy was, they only knew so much as far as the computer goes. So I've always, since that happened, I've just been kind of like wondering, how are they going to move forward because of their limitations, And I guess it is kind of a disability because they are older, but I just wonder what they're going to do now that they don't have that job any longer because of that. And I know people do discriminate. So I wonder about that.
Tony, how do you feel?
I think you just asked me something. We just had a screen freeze on my end. But I've had different experiences. Like, I went to a temporary agency because before I became a even after I was a hip hop artist, I still worked for companies like the Better Business Bureau, Chamber of Commerce, all of that. But when I got to Texas, they were very particular. And when I went to this temporary agency, they asked me about typing, and I had to go through this 2-hour process, which I have the thing. That's how I write my books. I type with one hand, but I also have the dragon headset where I can type with speaking, you know.
Oh,
But this lady, she was just so rude to me, and she put me through this 2 hour process and then told me, well, they don't have anything for me. I'm going to have to go to Goodwill. And not to knock,
Wow.
I love that Goodwill does what they do. They really employ people with disabilities. But, you know, for her to just tunnel vision me like that, like I was like, oh no. That just
Mm.
really, I walked out of there crying. But then after that, that encouraged me to go ahead and promote my book.
mhm.
And, you know, I just stepped out, started doing events and all of that because I don't think anyone should just be tied down to one position in life. We are a big ball of energy. We are meant to give back to the world and give our talents and all of that. So, you know, I look at it as being motivation, you
Yeah,
know?
Right.
yeah,
So,
And I always say, being disabled, people have a tendency to put you in a box. And once, they put you in that box, they tend to leave you there, and you have to continuously fight your way and prove your way uh, to get out of that box to move on to bigger and better things, and if you are not going to do that, that's all they're going to see you as, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
right.
that's
Right.
so true. And then on top of that, really, people in general put you in a box because we
Hmm.
have the box of middle class, lower class, you know, and then they just put these stigmas on or their perception of what they think you should be
Hmm.
on,
Yeah,
even if you don't have a disability, you know?
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
And
Hmm.
I'm gonna touch on my experiences working for you know a couple of different radio stations. I've even had some discouragement from employees when I first started. And I'm not gonna name any names, but I've had a couple of people tell me that maybe this job isn't for you. You know what I'm saying? And I think,
What?
yeah, I think both of y'all know me well enough. Okay, if somebody tells me no, like I'm gonna try even harder to do
That's,
what I got to
yes,
do.
of course.
Yeah,
Right. So like me, somebody telling me no, that's not even an option for me. You know what I'm saying? And
mhm.
I didn't even think, my first year working in radio, I didn't even think that I was gonna last. And I mean, here we are 8 years later. I started in 2012, with the company I'm working
Wow.
now. 8 years later, it's like, okay, I'm still there. I'm still, I'm becoming more and more valuable. But
Yeah,
you always have that person, that one person who thinks that you can't do the job. You know,
yeah,
it's always that one person who has to be. I don't want to say the word because I don't want to curse, but you always have that one person that's like,
A
okay,
jerk.
yeah, a jerk. Okay, we gonna for lack of a better term, we gonna say a jerk.
yeah,
But you have to have a certain strength and a certain uh push, about yourself to motivation about yourself to get out there and do what you have to do. So
yeah.
Definitely.
I saw an article, or I guess a post recently, where there was a guy that had autism that was denied jobs, and then he
mhm.
ended up opening his own coffee shop. So
Yeah.
things like that do
Wow.
push
Yeah, I
you.
think I saw
Yeah,
that. Uh-huh.
yeah, like Tony's situation, it pushed you to, go ahead forward with your book and everything like that. And I think sometimes that's necessary. But for the person who does not have that mentality to go and do something on their own, I do think, and because I went to school for human resources, that would be a thing that I would have to deal with, people with feeling like they're being discriminated against, so
Yeah.
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
like it's important for me to be able to hear it from another perspective to say, hey, even
Right.
if it did cross my mind, that's not okay, because you're capable. Just because you may walk differently or talk differently does not mean
Doesn't
that.
mean anything. Yeah, you're right. I feel that I was I mean, I was led to that journey, but I'm grateful that that was my path.
Yeah,
But there are so many people that, you know, this is all that they know. This is what makes them feel, I
right.
Hmm.
guess, you know, being a part of society, and then society denies them, you
Yeah,
know?
Right. And after being
I
denied,
need
after
water.
being
I'll be
denied,
right back.
like I said, y'all, this is the realest podcast on YouTube. Tony just got up and went and get some water, but it's all good,
we
man.
don't want her to die though.
No,
So I
right, right. No, she gotta, this is the realest podcast on YouTube, y'all. Anything can happen. But after a certain point, in life, you know, when you get discouraged so many times and let down so many times, you know, you start to question yourself. I mean, I even went through that phase in life, you know, like even after high school, you know, I started seeing a lot of our classmates, you know, get houses and stuff like that. And I really wasn't right where I think I got it. All right. I really wasn't right where I thought I should be, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I even mentioned it last week in the podcast that we were on with the mind, man. It was like, you know, I got depressed and I got kind of discouraged because I was like, well, they have that, but I don't. And then you realize, you know, you can't really compare yourself to your friends, your classmates, who, whatever. You work at your own pace and you do things at your own pace. And once I realized that, everything was cool, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Comparison is the thief of joy, but I think that we also have to get to a point that, because it's so cliche to say, you know, don't compare, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not until you have like a self-awareness to where you
Yep.
say, you know what,
Right.
I'm comparing myself and that's not even my journey. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what they had to do to get that house, or I don't know what they had to do to get to this point, you know. So yeah, it just takes for us going through it for us to recognize that. That's all.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. So, man, I'm gonna pause right here and I'm gonna let everybody know, man. You can follow us on YouTube. Just search for the Ryan Rich and Tony Hickman Show. Follow my girl, Miss Tony Hickman, at the Real Tony Hickman on Instagram and Facebook. And Angela.
Well, you can find me over on www.sincerelyangiem.com. On Instagram, I'm just being Angie, and it's just being underscore Angie. And that's on Twitter, everywhere. My links are everywhere. It's
All right.
sincerely Angie everywhere, though, and you can find me.
Oh
Okay.
man. Yeah. So
Beautiful.
yeah, we got it. It's all about supporting each other and just making things happen with each other, man. Just like
Yeah.
keeping up the positivity. And if I gotta rib Tony every now and again to make her like get at me, I will. Hey Tony.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever.
man. So that's about it, man. You know, we just doing it. So Angela, what you got coming up new?
Well, just really the podcast, just focusing on just really pushing out the content. I'm still doing blog posts and stuff like that. I do have a few things in the works, but I'm kind of waiting till that pans out to actually put it out there.
Right.
But I am, of course, I'm loving what you all are doing. I tune into every episode. And last week the guy Damon or Desmond, what is
Yeah.
it? When
Demine.
talking
Uh-huh.
about the social media and everything, I think that is such a much needed topic. And I know that people touch on it, but to really, really dig into it and get those conversations going, I really appreciate that, because myself, just like you all, we're content creators. So we do have to,
Right.
not that social media is the only form of not support, promoting yourself, but
Mhm.
it does play a factor, because that's the world we
Yep.
live in today. So do
Yes.
you all get any type of flack or any type of pushback when you, I guess, put out that you all had disabilities? Because looking at you, you can't tell. So
Right.
you all did share with the world. Did y'all have any issues?
Uh,
What are you saying? Did we have issues once we started the podcast, or have we had it
mm,
in life?
And just in general on social media, when you put out the fact that you do have a disability, did
mhm.
y'all get any type of bad
I,
energy or bad comments or anything?
I never got.
My
I never got. Go
Go
ahead, Tony.
ahead.
I'm sorry. Okay. No, I
No,
well.
I was gonna say my biggest. Be quiet. Let me talk. You always talking. Let me talk. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah. See, I can clown you back too.
I
That's
love you
how you be
too.
doing me. Uh huh.
This
Whatever.
this is this is what we do on a weekly
Anyway.
basis, y'all. But anyway, go ahead, please, Queen. Thank you, Queen
Um.
Tony. All right. Yeah.
For me, when all of this happened to me, because I was not born with a disability, so the biggest thing that came to me, I would have my close friends who would just be like, oh, you're not disabled, or and then
Mm-hmm.
I would have other friends who I've adopted through just being disabled and becoming an advocate,
Mm-hmm.
uh, that would tell me, it's okay. that if for you to call yourself disabled, like disabled also has a big history. And so I'm in a book on American disabled history. I'm in all of that because I understand both sides, but I wasn't born with it. So I put myself out there. I let people see me walk. I had to develop that mentality of no shame,
Yeah.
because regardless, when I first got out, yeah, I had a lot of shame. But the reality is, look, this is me. You accept me as I am, and that's what it is.
Hey, even with me, like Angela, I think you can like attest to this because we've been knowing each other since I think junior high.
Yeah.
Um, I don't, I've always kind of internalized my issues, and just in recent years, I started like really, really coming out and putting my disability out there. And the only reason why I started doing it was because a friend of mine, she was like, because she has cerebral palsy too, Ebony,
Yeah.
who we have yet to get on the show
You
about a year
need to
ago.
get it on, right?
Right. About a year ago, we just became Facebook friends, and we were talking, and she was like, you have cerebral palsy too, and I said, yeah, and we pretty much walk the same. The only difference is she walks with a cane and I don't. And she said, you have the perfect platform. And I think, Tony, when I met you, when we first linked up during the summer months and we started, going backwards and forwards on social media and the phone, I said, one of my biggest fears is uh, putting myself on video walking.
Right.
Because like Angela, when we were in school, everybody knew, you know what I'm saying? And y'all never made a big deal out of it. But I was just like, you know, how is everybody going to react to me walking? And Tony, even though she does give me a hard time, you push me to put it out there, and it kind of made me feel better, and it kind of broke that fear. But even
Right.
still, like I still kind of internalize a few things and keep things to myself, which is why I'm doing the podcast, and it's really been helping me uh, deal with the fact that, hey, this is me and this is who I am. So
Right.
yeah.
Because you're beautiful no matter what. And, I've seen that. I've seen where I could be attracted to a man who
Hmm.
is like, 100%, he doesn't have a disability, anything like that. And then I have been attracted to a man because of his confidence, who was in a wheelchair and he was just fly as I don't know what. And I was just like, dang, I like him.
So you
Just
saying I'm
because of who he is, not because of, you know,
I'm about to get
I,
you.
Here you
what?
go.
I'm about to get you. Because you saying I'm handsome and sexy. That's what you're saying. Let it
You
out.
know my emoji that covers the face and be like that? Like, I wish I could just slap that right now on your face, because, God,
Uh,
you just going all the way left. Come
I
get
know,
your
but
new
it's all good. It's all good. Just express your true feelings from Ryan Rich. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yo, man, we just having fun. Damn,
You be
damn.
having too much, but go
I
ahead.
know. I know, right? I might get in trouble, huh? Um.
No, I think me and her real good. You ain't gonna get in trouble. You already know if you was around me, I'd be slapping you, okay? All right.
Nah, man. But yeah. So we just went completely left field on that one. I done lost the
That
whole.
was you. You just took it. We was having a good conversation, I think, and then you just took it all the way somewhere else.
I had to. That's what I do. That's what I do. I was coming for you. Let's go. Come on,
So
Slim.
Tony, when I was looking back at your YouTube videos, you've always been a very positive person. So it's interesting that you said that you did lose your confidence for a while, because it's a testament to saying no matter how positive you are, you can have your own personal struggles and issues and then overcome those things. So I just wanted to say
Hmm.
congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you. And I appreciate you for acknowledging that I've been positive, but I think I've been street. Like, if you knew my history, Ron knows more of my history with Suave House, and just I've been on my own since I was 15. I've been street too. And so just finding that balance, that's what disability honestly did for me. It helped me um elevate, because I had to learn to look within instead of just count on my physical beauty. Not to say that I was just conceited like Ryan, but I was still just like, I'm 6 feet tall, so I still had that, and that was the thing that I knew I had. So when I couldn't wear my heels, or I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? I had to look in and find me, and that's where I started changing.
So you saying I'm conceited, bro?
I've been telling you that. You watch every video, I'm telling you that.
You know what?
You know?
After we get off this podcast, I'm gonna go in on you. Yeah. Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
so when we were in school, though, I didn't know at first that it was cerebral palsy that you
Hmm.
had. I thought just in my ignorance of young ignorance, I just thought that you may have gotten into a car accident, and then I never wanted to ask. You was just cool. I'm the type of person I talk to anybody, and so
Hmm.
I would talk in school, but I never wanted to ask like what happened and what was wrong.
Right.
Some people don't have a whole lot of decorum about themselves, and they'll just say, and I guess it is good in a way, but I'm just like, he's no different. He's a student just like me. So,
Right.
you
And
know,
that's how you and I have always remained cool since like the sixth grade. We always just been on the up and up with each other. You know what I'm saying? So I respect you
Did
for
you
that.
ever ask him?
I
no, it wasn't until when we reconnected and I came to the radio station and talked to you that I was
Mhm.
like, I really didn't know what I never really
Hmm.
asked him, but I heard eventually, and I'm like, I didn't know that that's what that was.
Mhm.
Right.
Right. So
Wow.
things happen for a reason, man. But I've always respected you, and I've always held you in a high regard as friends, even though we kind of lost touch after high school and got
Mhm.
reconnected on social media, and I think we had bumped into each other somewhere after that, right? Right, like right before the social media thing popped off.
Yeah,
Mm.
and then I didn't know, or I guess I didn't remember that your birthday is in March, and we were been supposed to celebrate our birthday month together. It
Right,
hasn't happened yet.
right. It's coming though. It's coming.
When is your birthday?
March 30th.
Yeah, and I'm the
Oh
24th.
wow. Okay. So you're
So we
Aries
like,
too.
yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
I'm horrible though. I'm horrible. Uh, Yeah. Anyway, man.
Now
Like I
I
You know,
think
said.
Aries are go getters. By the way, I'm gonna just throw that out there. But every Aries that I know does not stop. Like they just don't stop until they get to where they want. And they never get to where they want to get. When they get to where they want to get, then they want to get
something
somewhere
else.
else. Like
Yes, that's
Right.
me.
That's me too. That's
That's
me
me.
too. Like
But
I'm
you know
I'm
what I was
determined.
going to say? I'm sorry.
huh?
I'm determined. So, but Angela, what were you saying?
As I was talking to you and we were talking about high school, I just realized that I have friends who have not necessarily disabilities, but they have something that may not be normal to the world. And I
Hmm.
never even second guessed it. I never even looked at it or thought about it never was a thought until you said, that I was always cool about it. I'm just realized I have a friend, her eyes, they're not straight, and then
Right.
Hmm.
friend, her feet were burned when she was a child. And I've never
Hmm.
discussed it, never talked about it, anything like that. I guess I just really see people for who they are.
Yeah.
Right. And
And
that's
that's a
always
beautiful
that's always been a
thing.
good quality. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing. So
yeah, that's
So
crazy.
but y'all want to wrap this thing up? Any final words before we get out of here?
what you got next coming up on your podcast? No, I have a question for both of y'all.
Okay.
Hmm.
For our guests, what is your ultimate plans and goals for 2020 that you do want to share with our audience, and any last positive words that you may want to share with our audience?
All right. So I'm gonna let Angela go first.
That's who
Okay.
I was talking to.
So I think that because I started off,
It's coming.
he's talking on stuff. I cannot deal.
It's
So
coming.
I have a few more episodes before the new year. I always like to end the year off by talking about the year, the highs and lows of the year. And then the next year, I like to speak on vision and what my vision is for the new year. So I have always been a very private person, but because I'm so into finances and budgeting and just trying to help people live their best life financially, I want to be more open with what I have gone through or shared. So I'm working on being more open. And the positive I want to leave everyone with is that there are signs everywhere and you have to be mindful and pay attention to the signs. And if you are not sure what your purpose is or what it is that you want to do in life, pay attention to the things around you and the signs around you because it's surely going to come. So just a quick backstory. I started I've always written things down. Like I write in journals, write in the little when they had the little digital journals, I just always wrote things down, but I never wanted to share it with people. And so I met a friend and he was like, let me, I told him that I write. And he said, let me read something. Can I post it on my website? Can I share it? And he was like, people loved it. Why don't you do this? And then I started posting my blog. And then from my blog came the podcast. And then from my podcast, other things are happening. So signs are all around. You just have to be mindful of it. And it's definitely going to lead you to your destiny. So that's
I love that.
For 2020,
2020, you need to look for your signs. You need to start looking now because 2020 is right around the corner. We about to enter like a whole new decade.
A whole new
so
decade.
Yeah.
On the door, like seriously.
Okay. Yeah. So like look at the signs in your life. What is life telling you right now? What is God telling you? Like what is your next move? What should it be? Start looking in for all the things that you have to offer the world as well,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Keep it
So
going.
what's going on with Ryan Rich for 2020?
I'm gonna try to treat Tony a little more nicer.
That's good.
I think our whole audience, everybody who has ever tuned into our show, is gonna be like, you know what, that really needs to happen.
So Ryan, drop the try and just say, I will.
I will. Thank you. Because we don't use the word try.
See, just because she opened her mouth, I'm not gonna do it.
Oh my goodness.
See.
And once again,
I'm gonna give you all kind of hell. All right.
Thank you for one.
Yeah. But no, seriously though, man. I don't really set, like New Year's resolutions or anything like that. I just always say every year, continue to grow, continue to grow within my craft, and continue to love the people around me, and just continue to be the person that I am. Continue to be, the big brother that I am to my sister, my little sister, and just continue on loving my family and just being there for my family. So that's my goal for 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, man.
And you?
I'm like you, I got a couple of things in the works, but until I can just like manifest, but definitely some bigger foundations for 2020 is on my list. And just everything Ryan said too, I'm one of those people, I really dig in myself and figure out how I can become better. And so, just working on just being greater in my emotions, being greater in loving the people around me, and being greater at also not absorbing everybody's energy around me so it doesn't take over, Yeah. So yeah, but 2020, I'm excited about it. I don't know, it feels like I'm 2019. Whoo! 2019 had a belt on me, like,
Right.
It was serious. So 2020, I welcome whatever comes because change is always here. So I welcome it.
Yeah.
So I think for the upcoming podcast for the following week, I think we should just do like we can't really do a year in review, but we can do like a just a review of what what's to come and different things like that for the Ryan Rich and Tony Hickman show.
Yeah. We need to do that.
Right. So, guys, I love y'all, and we about to close this out. So this has been another episode of the Ryan Rich and Tony Hickman Show. Ladies, any parting words before we get out of here?
Yes, for me, go to my website, tonyhickman.com, support my music, support my books, support my products, support independent artists, support everybody on this show that has something independent going on. That's what we need to make it about. Everybody needs to support independent artists for 2020, because the reality is, like, we grow together. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
TonyHickman.com.
Support the movement.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Oh, before we get out of here, man, I just want to say for 2020, the Cerebral Palsy Warrior shirts that I've been working on are coming out. So, I'll be posting and getting everybody to link to so y'all can order and support. So be on the lookout for that for 2022, because I finally got that going on, and it's just gonna be bigger and better things, man.
That's why I said I knew you all them Aries, boy. I'm telling y'all that y'all always working on something.
Right.
Oh,
So
yes,
I finally
absolutely.
got it going. Yep. So
That's
it's
good.
coming.
That's wonderful. And I'm so proud of y'all. And thank y'all for having me on the show. And
Thank you. And I'm gonna tune into you too. I'm gonna make sure. So yeah.
absolutely. It's
Right.
sincerelyangiem.com. And if you just Google Sincerely Angie, you can press play right from the home screen. And
Oh
there's
wow.
topics. So I hope that you find something that's, beneficial to you and something that'll bless you. That's what I want. I want to help. I want to serve.
Man.
Exactly. That's
So
love.
shouts out to everybody, man. Shouts out to all my people tuned in. And guess I'll see you next week, Tony. We'll see you next week.
Yeah,
Yep.
because I'll be in on YouTube. I'll be watching y'all. I tune in every time I see a new video. I get the alerts. I'm tuned in.
Wow.
Yo,
That's
we
so
we
Yes.
awesome.
we
You
got
on
some good
YouTube?
topics
Are
too.
you on YouTube?
Yeah,
I,
right.
I have a few videos. I used to do videos long time ago, but it was so time consuming. Then I didn't have a correct camera and the right computer, and then I just stopped. But I do have a few videos up that I posted this year. And
Okay.
Sincerely Angie is the name of, of my channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Sincerely, Angie. All right. I'm gonna look for you.
All
Yep.
right.
All
All right,
right.
y'all. Well, peace, love, and light. Be good to yourself and love on yourself. And that's what we do at the Ryan Rich and Tony Hickman Show. Peace.
Peace.
Bye, y'all.